I'm sitting with mayoral candidate Emmanuel Pleitez. Emmanuel, let's talk about the mayor's role in education. What role do you think public education can and should play in creating a successful future in Los Angeles? Why does it matter? And as mayor, what would you do about it?
Education is critical to the future of Los Angeles, and education shouldn't be looked at as just an issue to deal with. Education is the backbone of our economy, of life in our communities, and the mayor needs to be working hand in hand with the school district, with the school board members, with the principals across the board as a 24/7 job. It's not about what happens inside the classroom, it's about what happens in every hour of the day, every day of the week, because our kids are being influenced across the board whenever they're awake. And we need to make sure that the mayor understands that in a very intimate way. I am a product of public schools. I went Alstrino Middle School, Wilson High School. I understand the issues in our school district from a personal perspective. I also studied this at Stanford University. I focused on urban education. This is what I am most passionate about. And I understand how in LA, especially in our public schools, the path to success could be so fragile. My best friend was probably even more talented than me and would have easily gone to Stanford. He walked home a different path than I did. He had a few more negative influences to my positive influences. He dropped out of school and is no longer with us because of gang violence. That story is not just a personal story, but it's emblematic of what could happen in the school district and what happens actually every day. As mayor, I want to make sure that we increase the amount of people that are working on education. And it doesn't just mean teachers, it means counselors, it means people that can provide more wraparound services at each school. It means making schools more community centers so that we are leveraging the fact that we have these assets. Education is the biggest priority for me, and it's how we get from education to employment and rebuild our economy in Los Angeles.
What are your thoughts about school reform and why does that matter in Los Angeles?
Look, I want schools, we need to be thinking about education as a 24/7 job and family oriented. That means that my mom should be having access to educational opportunities at the schools or at any extension of the school district or city property that can provide educational opportunities. In fact, one of the biggest determinants of the success of a young person is the education of their parent. Not the teacher, not the curriculum, it's the fact that there's an education environment. When my mom came from Mexico, she was pregnant with me coming across the border. As I was growing up, she actually was taking night classes to learn English. Not only did she learn a new skill set, but she inspired me to do better in school. She led by example. That was the difference of my education culture growing up. It wasn't that she told me to do her homework, she was doing her own homework. That's the type of culture that we need to increase throughout Los Angeles and how we're going to improve educational outcomes for our young people.
Los Angeles is short on park space, open space, community meeting space. The city and the school district have in some cases been able to work together to maximize some of our resources. Do you have additional ideas for partnering with the school district in terms of parks and pools and other open space in the minute that we have left?
Absolutely. Look, the mayor needs to be in partnership with every school, with the whole school district, not just with 20 schools or so. I want to make sure that we're thinking about all of our facilities, city and school district properties, and think about more joint uses for those properties. Think about how we're maintaining them, how we're leveraging our economies of scale so that we're better maintaining them and we're managing our budgets in a more effective way so that we can maximize the use. Look, I'm a product of these public schools. I'm also a product of the recreation centers in LA. And I think we need to be working more together. I also worked as a council aide for a council member, actually for Antonio Villaraigosa when he was a council member. And I understand constituent service requests, and sometimes we need to be better integrated so we're not in silos and we're better delivering services for our population.
Thank you so much. Mayoral candidate Emmanuel Pleitez, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about education and the mayor's race.
It's my pleasure, and let's keep this conversation going.